welcome to this month's Citizens Corner, featured by the independent European radio network Euranet Plus. Today we're here in Strasbourg. It's the first time we're in Strasbourg. It's a great experience. It's great to be here. And today we're going to confront EU realities like we always do when we talk in Citizens Corners. And we're going to talk about a topic no one can avoid, even if they wanted to. It's a topic everybody has to care about. It's food. We can't avoid it. We have to eat. That's the way it is. Yeah. It's essential to talk about it. It's essential to talk in times of the horse meat scandal, rotten meat scandals, dioxin eggs, and all the other scandals we're going to talk about and hear about more. I'm very happy I have guests here today. Let me introduce them, and let me start with the empty chair. It will be filled. Don't worry. We have the German food inspector. It's Martin Müller. He's the head of the German Federal Association of Food Inspectors. And as we hear, he is so busy inspecting food that he's running a little late. To my right, Holger Winkelmann, a German citizen who's also worried about the way our food is being treated.
Yes, well, must be safe, I think.
Absolutely. We're going to find out what he thinks. Thanks for being here. To my left, Mateusz Kubicki. From Kubicki, I'm sorry. Mateusz Kubicki, that's right.
Not a problem.
You're from Warsaw, and you're also from the Euranet Plus campus radio network.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here with you today.
Welcome. Lidija Mirić, you're from Zagreb, Croatia.
Yes,
and,
from a radio student, and this is the first time that radio student is participating in this debate of Euranet.
And we're eager to learn about how Croatia deals with food scandals, and
yes.
We're eager to learn. Thanks for being here. And we also have Manon Ribat.
Hello.
You're from Paris.
Radio Campus Paris as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start right away. We have asked people on the street in Germany if they remember recent food scandals.
Gammelfleisch, rotten meat, poisoned eggs. It's difficult.
I can remember all meat scandals, even though I don't really remember the names, except BSE. And then there was EHAC, and the little scandals I really can't remember. I can remember BSE. There was a butcher in my hometown who had to close his shop, cause no one wanted to buy meat no more.
Recently it was all about the horse meat and convenience lasagne, but it didn't really affect me because I don't buy this food.
BSE was a big thing back then, that's it. But it didn't really affect me because I eat meat all the time, even when the BSE scandal was on.
What are recent food scandals we heard about them? What are things you remember? Manon, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. I remember this period about horse meat scandal in France. Yeah, I had to do a vox pop for Radio Campus Paris, and I had to ask to students what they think about horse meat scandal. And actually, they told me that that it was not a problem for them because they had to buy meat anyway. So to eat meat or to eat fish or to eat, I don't know, like to eat horse, it was not a problem for them. So yeah, it makes me think about, okay, if we have to eat, maybe it's a problem to eat horse meat because we don't know it. But you know, when you are in students and when you don't have a lot of money, you know, you have to buy something. So yeah,
the problems of student life.
Yeah.
Lidija, when we talked before, you mentioned that maybe Croatia doesn't deal a lot with those scandals.
Well,
what do you think?
Yes, we don't care with horse scandal at all because we didn't found any products with horse meat instead of a beef. And people in Croatia also, they don't know why is a problem of a horse meat because they know that the horses that were used that they were treated by a medicine that is forbidden. I think the medicine name is Velinbutazone or something. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. Horses. And usually they don't care about it really because I think our food is safe enough. But we had one food scandal with milk earlier this year. In milk, toxins were found, M1, and a certain amount of milk was destroyed, but nothing seriously occurred after that. We didn't stop buying or drinking milk or something. It's all the same as before now.
And you really want to know how things like that could happen.
Well, I do, but I was reading by the time that happened, and the level of toxins found in milk in Croatia were above European standard, but they were way lower than standard in, for example, in America or Russia. So, and they told it's not a problem if you drink it once, but if you use it every day, you can have some long-term consequences.
Side effects.
Yeah, side effects for health.
Mateusz, do you want to tell us about Poland? How have recent scandals affected you and maybe your country too?
Well, I've heard about cases that were stated in the introduction to that debate, and I must admit that all of those scandals are always a big shock for the major part of the society. In Poland, the situation is very difficult. To my mind, it's even ridiculous because like a year ago, we had some serious cases. One of them was connected with the de-icing salt, which was sold as table salt. And what's really important, I'd like to turn your attention to the fact that it was not the authorities responsible for fighting food fraud who discovered this scandal. It was the journalists. And to my mind, we need simple methods, and we need to simplify the authorities. And to my mind, there's a need to create new entities.
So really looking forward to meeting Martin Müller, who's a food inspector, and that's a good question. You can ask him, why did journalists and not authorities find out about those scandals?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Holger Winkelmann, being a fellow German citizen, do you want to tell us about maybe your personal experiences or also situation in Germany?
The situation in Germany, we heard in the interviews before, I think E. coli or EHEC was the food scandal which makes up my mind first when I prepared for this. And I think that was the first time for me personal who was a little bit frightened because of that. So if there is horse in the meat, that doesn't scare me. I eat meat anytime for 3 days a week or what. But equally was the fact that I was very frightened, and I don't eat any salad because that was in Germany the main topic that maybe the salad is the source, and I think, yeah. I didn't eat any more then when I go to the restaurant and order some meat and say, okay, without salad today because it's too dangerous, because I don't know if that is the source of all of this. And for me, it was the first time I care about food scandal. So
right. Just to refresh, EHEC was a scandal in 2011, big scandal, especially in Germany, and in many other countries. People actually died of that. It's an intestinal germ. It was spread widely. People still suffer from side effects, and it is believed, the source is to be believed sprouts, but nobody knows for sure. We also heard, when we heard the introductory sentence, that there were more scandals. The horse meat scandal just recently in 2013, this year. We also had the dioxin eggs, where a lot of that dioxin, which is usually found in a lot of food that we eat, was found in high amounts in eggs. And it is a problem insofar as it can cause immune system disturbances, it can cause cancer, it can cause skin diseases. Maybe we also remember a scandal from the 90s. Some of us were really young back then. I somewhat remember BSE, also called mad cow disease, excuse me, in cattle. It was really, the UK was really affected. Since then, a ban of beef happened in the UK, and since then we have a labeling of beef. But only beef is being labeled. Now, talking about labeling of food, that's been one of the solutions the US tried in order to improve the whole food system. Holger, can I start with you? What do you think about it? Is that an appropriate way of improving the whole system?
If it is safe, and if I can be sure that is the label will give me the things are in the meat, and I can recognize that, and I can follow them. So I think it will be good, but I'm not sure if it's safe enough. So I don't believe in it.
Okay.
In a way, a very skeptical way.
Labeling of food is also highly connected with the traceability of food. Lydia,
Well,
what's your
I think
opinion?
there is no that maximum traceability is not possible because we really can't trace that, and that's I think that process is really complicated, and then we must bring a lot of measurements dealing with it, and I just think it's not possible, And I don't trust labels on products.
So, as we can hear already, trust has been damaged for all of us because of these scandals. Manon, would you think traceability and labeling of food is a good way? Would you feel safer?
Okay, I think it's good to label food in that case, but I think the problem is everywhere is in another place. I think the problem is that Europe is now producing in mass, like there is a mass production, and maybe there is a too big difference with the local production, and I think it's maybe it can be a solution to be in favor of local producers in Europe, but still it's local, and so for example, the meat doesn't have to travel all around Europe to go to Poland or I don't know everywhere
and then
else.
back to Germany and then to Ireland.
And I think it can avoid this kind of accidents, like horse meat or something like that.
Mateusz, concerning that topic, what would be a question or a concern you would confront a politician with? Later, we will have politicians here. What do you want to tell them about this problem?
Yeah, I would certainly ask, doesn't matter what kind of a politician, I would ask, what's the use of maintaining separate authorities responsible for fighting food fraud? To my mind, there's a need of setting up one basic entity and giving it some sort of legal power that would actually enable it to fight food fraud. Because, for example, now when a food inspection is going to conduct a sort of a control on a restaurant in Poland, it has to be said a week before. For example, the owner of the restaurant has to get the message a week before so that he can be prepared. To my mind, we need
No
to...
surprise effect.
Yeah, to my mind, we should simply catch those cheaters off guard.
Right. You mentioned that there needs to be one central agency that maybe bundles it all. There is Europol who covers certain parts of that. There is the Rapid Alert System. There is the European Food Safety Agency. I have heard that especially in the horse meat scandal, a lot of member states, EU member states, were first very reluctant to work together with these agencies. Holger, can you imagine why that could be? Why are member states reluctant?
So difficult. I don't know. I think first of all, I have to say that the total security you can't get in these things. So, and if the states are all states work together, I think it is very difficult to do that, and some maybe will save their national rights or will be independent of all of their work, of their of the things that they do and their controls. So maybe that is a reason, but I don't know exactly.
Do you want to express any fears you have when you think about all the scandals and the food, maybe also the way we treat food? Lydia, do you want to start? Maybe what are fears you have?
It's important to know what we eat, because if the food is poisoned, that's dangerous. But if the quality is low, I really don't care so much. So I can separate those two things, quality and safety of food. We can talk about quality that can be lower or higher, or you can sometimes pay much more than the food is worth. But if something is poisoned and it's not safe, that's a wholly different thing. That's dangerous. And yes, I would like to know that.
Okay, we will address the politicians later.
Yes.
We are concerned, Mateusz.
Yeah, I think that actually labeling of the products is very important. But maybe it's not about introducing new laws, but changing, as I said before, changing the existing ones so that the producers won't try to reduce their costs on the expense of the client. I believe that when I eat a cheated product, it doesn't actually mean that I'm going to suffer from a sort of a disease, but in the long run, consuming a cheated product may actually mean that I'm going to suffer from some sort of food poisoning, and I'm not happy with it.
Right. So, as Mateusz said, Manon, do you think that the whole structure needs a reform?
Yeah, I think so. I'm convinced on that because, for example, I think about the children of nowadays. Like, they don't know how to feed themselves. Like, I think we have to develop the food education or something like that. To know if you are a child, you have to know that eating carrots is good for your health, and drinking Coca-Cola is not good to drink it every day. So I think it's really important to have a conscience of what do we eat and what do we do with our body, because a lot of big European diseases like obesity, like cancer, is linked to that. So I think we have to do something about it.
So I think we have to think again about what does food cost for us. So I won't pay less for food. So I buy it every day, so it must be very cheap. It's good for me. But the thinking must be the other way around, so that the food must be more expensive. And when I get the guarantee that then the food will be without any disease or something like that, and I won't get ill of that, then I'm very happy, I think. But if the meat costs much money, I won't eat.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I believe really that most of us, almost all of us, when choosing a product, we base our choice on the reputation of that product, and many
Also
times
the price,
we simply pay more, and to me that's unacceptable.
So to conclude, we really have to figure out what food means to us. What is the meaning? We have to figure out for ourselves how much are we willing to do, how much are we able to do in order to increase and better the whole system. To sum up, what we want to talk to our politicians about is, first of all, mass production of food. Manon, you mentioned it, is a problem, will still be a problem. Also, if producing bad food still brings good money for the companies, it is a problem. There needs to be a relative distance or a difference between the cost of producing and the cost of selling the food. Yeah. It needs to be reliable. It needs to be, of sense. Also, we talked about maybe creating one legal authorities. That's going to be an interesting question for the members of parliament who will join us here later to ask what could that look like? What are the steps towards creating a cross-border harmonization? Also, there's so far just one general principle in the EU that states that it's prohibited to market unsafe food or food with incorrect or misleading labels. That's the only one we have so far as I know. And I think it'll be very interesting to hear what our members of parliament have to say to that. So far, I thank you for joining this group, and I'm really excited to learn about our politicians' opinions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.